Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Batman, the animated series DC Collectibles Batmobile. I've measured it to be around 26 inches long, it has lights, it has a sliding cockpit, it's pretty damn awesome. Now the first thing that I'm going to show you when I go ahead and take it out of the box is just something that I dislike about it, and it's something that I can look over, and I'll tell you the reasons why, and then go over what I love about this thing. So down here you have the main front of the box, where you have a side image of the car, and on the front you also have a front. Now that is actually full scale. And then over here on the back we have an actual picture of the vehicle itself, and then the same with the lights switched on. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Batmobile itself. And here is the Batmobile itself. Now one thing that I'm pretty sure that you can see on camera, which like I said, I'm going to start off with the thing that I dislike about this thing, is the actual quality of the finish on the hood or front of the car, whatever you would call this whole section of the Batmobile right here. It basically has striations that are running down the length of the Batmobile, and you can't feel them, but you can definitely see them, and it's, you know, it looks as if it's been machined out of something, or it's been, you know, polished or smoothed out with something, and it's just kind of basically left marks along there, because you would expect it to be molded, and therefore that looks like something's, you know, kind of rubbed along it. It doesn't seem to be anywhere else on the Batmobile, it's just on that front section right there. You might be able to see it a bit better if I lean it up. You can just kind of see the lines going down it, and you can kind of also see now the Joker sitting inside it. So that's just, I don't have a Batman from this line yet, so that's just me showing you that you can get a 6-inch figure in there. In fact, you can get two. But yeah, the reason that I think that those striations can be ignored is because you can't see them in all forms of light. I think that they're much more visible under kind of daylight as opposed to electric light. So if you have this on a shelf and whatnot indoors, it's going to look much better than if you are, for example, going to put it on like a windowsill or something. And that's not where I'm going to put it, so I don't really care. But also, I'd have to say that it's just the price point of this thing. This thing costs, what, maybe like 4 or 5 figures from this line, but you get a hell of a lot more plastic. It's something that a lot of people have wanted for a long time. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to absolutely adore this thing a lot more than, you know, getting 5 figures. It's got lights, it's got good weight to it. There is seriously a ton of plastic in this thing. And it's just an amazing shelf piece. I mean, the '89 Batmobile that Hot Toys did, that thing was, what, like over $500-600 to buy, and that was when it was new. If you want to get it now, you're probably going to have to pay like over $1,000. That thing was, what, like over $500-600 to buy, and that was when it was new. If you want to get it now, you're probably going to have to pay like over $1,000, as it's not being made. So yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to get a really nice, amazing, big Batmobile. And this thing isn't that much smaller than it, considering that this is 6-inch. This Batmobile is just so big in relation to the actual characters from the show that it's practically as big as that one, and those figures are obviously twice the size of these. So I would definitely think that price point wise, if this was going to be made by any other company to this standard, it would be a lot more money. So yes, the quality on the front might not be all too great, however, it has meant that the cost can be kept way down. I mean, look at the figures from this line. They don't look anywhere near as good as a lot of other DC Collectibles figures, but you are getting them at a good price with a lot more articulation. So if you like the other figures in the line, you're gonna like this. But before we get on to the features that this Batmobile has, I just want to show you this. So this is the original Batmobile that came out with the show in, was it 93? Let's go ahead and flip it upside down. Yep, 93. So this one obviously had these little spikes that come out from the tires, if I can pull it out, to slash other people's, well, tires. This one obviously does not have it, although it does have the nice molded rims there. It also had the opening cockpit, and it also had this feature right here. So this came out, and then you have this little glider, and it had a bomb underneath. Obviously, this one right here from DC Collectibles does not do those things. However, it is more accurate. So as you can see, in relation to the length of the front of the car to the cockpit, you know, this cockpit on the new one is so much bigger. And the reason for that is essentially just so that you can actually fit 2 figures in there. So yes, this new Batmobile is practically 26 inches long, maybe even a little bit bigger. It does indeed have a bit of a scaling problem in the fact that because of the size of the cockpit, really the front of the car should be even longer so that it looks a little bit more like the proportions of this thing. However, that means it's going to be even harder to play with, it would be even heavier, even more expensive, and just harder to fit on anyone's shelf or displays. So this one obviously doesn't have the accurate little rise over the rear wheel that that one does, but if you were to combine elements of both of them, you would have a completely screen accurate Batmobile. Neither one of them are actually perfect, but they are both definitely awesome. And to be honest, this one is probably cheaper than trying to buy this one these days. But nonetheless, let's go over some features of this Batmobile right here. So the wheels at the front here do actually turn ever so slightly. You get a little bit of movement out of those. We have the awesome front grille that just looks absolutely fantastic. There you go, you can kind of see some of those marks and striations down the hood there. As you can see, you don't really see it around here anywhere else on the car, so very strange. I'm not sure what would actually get that out, but I'm pretty sure that there are ways to do so without really damaging the Batmobile, but I'm not going to try anything with it because it is a pretty expensive piece. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back. This thing is quite heavy, remember, and I am leaning over my camera to go ahead and do this video because of its size. There's no way this thing would fit in the frame, so yeah, it's a bit of an awkward review for me, but I hope you enjoy it. But look at the amazing detail in that back. You've got, well, although the car is a very simple design, they've pulled off every single bit of detail that they needed to. This thing looks absolutely awesome. But now to look towards the cockpit. So as you can see here, we do have this line that runs down the center. Now yes, it would have been better if they'd have somehow attached it to the sides of the actual cockpit down here and maybe have some runners either side that run inside, as opposed to it just being on the top there and being visible. But for whatever reason they did that, it probably cut costs and it probably meant that we got the Batmobile a little bit cheaper. But no matter how they did it, what it enables us to do is to actually open up this cockpit very easily, and as you can see, it does lift up, so you're not actually going to scratch the Batmobile itself. You're not going to get any scratches over here on the front, which is fantastic. And there we have the Joker sitting inside the cockpit, which is detailed absolutely fantastically. So as you can see here inside, we have the steering wheel, which goes forward and back, so that enables you to get the figure in with ease and then pull the steering wheel towards the figure to be able to actually get them to touch the wheel. And it also does spin, as you can see. So I'll just push that in. So we have the 3 green panels in there that will light up, and then we have that central control. We also have a gear lever in there. If I go ahead and take Joker out, you can see that there's a ton of room inside, and you do actually have working seat belts, as you can see. So they just unclip like so, and they are on elastic, so you can fit it around the figure and then clip them in, as simple as that, and it works fantastically. I didn't have it on Joker just because when the seatbelts do go on, although they do work really well and it looks fantastic, obviously it is going to be, slightly pulling the figure to one side and stuff, and they might not sit exactly how you want them. It's cool to have on there, but I prefer just not to use them. And then there's a view inside the cockpit of the seats right there. It all looks very, very cool, and there's lots of space. If we turn this thing upside down, here is the battery compartment. It takes, I believe, 3 AA's it was. You do get an instruction sheet, but basically all you have to do is undo that screw. It goes in there, and here is the on switch. So I'll flick that on, and now you'll see that the cockpit is lit up blue. In the rear, we have the brake lights on and also the engine light, and you can see just how bright that is. I've seen lots of reviews of this that have such dim lights. I'm not sure what batteries people are putting in these things, whether they're like 20 years old or something, but I've seen so many reviews of people saying the lights are cool, but they're not even that great to consider the price of this thing. They are so damn bright. I just don't see what the hell people are trying to power this thing off. Some people may as well just wire up a potato to it and see if that works. And then over here on the front, obviously, we have the lit up headlights, which are so damn cool as well. So if I just go ahead and pop Joker back inside and close this up, not getting his head stuck in, hopefully, You can clearly see that the blue now illuminates it even more inside so that you can actually really clearly see the head of whatever figure you put in there. I'll just position this thing up a little bit so that we can go ahead and see the headlights, and you can actually see the red of the brake lights. So here's one of the lights gone, and here's the other one. So this is in complete darkness, and yeah, it's pretty damn bright, as you can see. So you got the headlights right there. You got those red lights clearly lighting up the backdrop over there. Yeah, very bright indeed. I absolutely adore this thing. There are the headlights, very bright indeed, but nowhere near as bright as this back section. So obviously there's a look at the inside, the front, and then here is the rear. Now, doesn't that just look so damn cool? That is so epic. So once again, here is a quick look. Even with the lights on, you can see how bright they are. And that's on camera. They're even brighter in daylight. So absolutely fantastic piece. And it's definitely a must-have for any Batman the Animated Series fan. So I'm going to go ahead and just take Joker out right here and stand him up straight next to this thing so that you can see just a bit better in terms of height how big it is with a figure stood next to it. So there you go. There's your size comparison. It looks absolutely phenomenal. If you love the series at all, I really don't see why you would not buy this thing. Like I said, it's only the price of a few figures and it looks awesome. You'd expect something of this size, of even this quality, with the lights in as well, and how heavy it is. And not to mention that the tyres are actually rubber. You know, I would expect this thing to be at least double the price. So I'm so happy that they were able to give it us at this price bracket. It's so damn cool, and I definitely recommend that you go ahead and pick this up while stock lasts, because I'm pretty sure this thing ain't gonna be around for long. If anything is to go by the DC Collectibles video that they did kind of showing this thing off on their website just before it was released, then it would seem to be that they are actually doing the New Adventures one and also possibly the Batman Beyond one. That's what everyone wants. You know, having a land and air Batmobile would be so awesome. Not to mention a Batman Beyond in this style. So if you want to check out Batman and Robin reviews and also to see them in this Batmobile, go ahead and subscribe, because I will be getting those figures and doing reviews of them and showing them with this Batmobile in the future. They will fit inside with their capes on, because the capes are flexible. There is so much room inside their cockpit, you could fit bigger figures in there. Although I would probably just take the capes off to put them in, just to save the cape from like warping or something over time. But yes, if you're wondering, you can fit other figures in there with their capes on. So that is absolutely awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to check out more pictures of not just this car, but anything else from my collection, go ahead and check out my Instagram. It's Homerino123. The link is in the description below, where you'll also find a link to my Twitter. And for more DC Collectibles videos, go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.